Hi, welcome to La Costa TK Entertainment. And today I want to talk about an issue in South Africa that keeps growing, but it seems that no one has any idea how to resolve it, at least fully. The only things that we see are temporary solutions and other programs that are trying to address this issue, but fundamentally it's not being resolved at all. So today let's get into the conversation of how this problem affects us as the youth, and let's talk about it. Let's get into it.
We need to ensure that growth creates jobs for all, and especially for young people.
In his 2025 State of the Nation address, President Cyril Ramaphosa said government-led employment programs have shown that public intervention can create meaningful work for young people. He pointed to millions of opportunities created through initiatives such as the Presidential Employment Stimulus and the Social Employment Fund. However, youth development organizations say that while these programs have made a difference, they are not enough.
We do need a more intentional and impactful programs that are going to be made or created for young people. Yes, we are grateful that the president has, over time, he has the Presidential Youth Employment Initiative, which has made a great impact for different young people, opportunities that have been there. But we do need sustainable jobs. We do need young people to have relevant jobs that are sustainable, but also that bring dignity. I do not think that it's correct for a person with the qualification to be found in a low-paying job.
In South Africa, for you to have a job now is contracts. I mean, Ramaphosa during 2020 has released a whole lot of contracts. However, they are an illusion. Okay, let's be real here. They are an illusion that you have a job. If you have a contract that lasts a year, you know that at the end of the year you're going to be unemployed again. But during the time where you have a job, you feel comfortable. You feel like you have a job. You feel like you have a purpose. But then when that job inevitably ends, then you are in trouble. You're gonna struggle a whole lot more than the person who did not have a job anyway, because you were used to getting paid at the end of the month, and now what that does to you is you're gonna have a whole lot of mental health issues, because you're no longer able to provide for the people that you provided for. Things will start to change. And the problem I have with that is that we don't have a whole lot of permanent jobs in South Africa. Okay? Now, something radical has to be done. I don't know what is, but it has to. Otherwise, we'll continue being like this. Okay, here's the scenario. You go to school, everybody goes to school. How many school students are in South Africa? Probably more than 500,000. More than 500,000 high school students are graduating from grade 12 every year. Some go to college, some do not. Do you think we have enough jobs to keep up with the number of people who are graduating from universities and in colleges and also high school? Okay, here's a problem. South African system is designed in a way that villages surround a small town. That small town serves a whole lot of villages. So what inevitably happens is that when a job post comes out, everybody's gonna be applying for the same job. Now let me ask you this: yes, if there is one government contract, let's say the Department of Social Services releases a contract, right? How many people do you think are gonna apply for the same job? Now, there's gonna be at least 4,000 people. 4,000 people might apply for that job. Remember, it counts the people who never went to college. They only just passed grade 12. They never went to college. They never went to universities. So what happens then? then, well, we all apply, and then there's a whole lot pile of CVs for the same position, right? Okay, after the CVs are placed, and now it's time for the selection. And when the dead end arrives, right? There's gonna be a selection. How many CVs do you think they're gonna be there? 4,000, right? And then put yourself in a perspective of the people who are doing the selection, right? You think they're gonna go through every CV normally in details? No, of course not. They're just gonna select people that they know. That's easier, and it's just more efficient. I'm not defending the fact that people are selecting people who they know or getting bribed. They're getting bribed. No, I'm just saying that it will take more than a year to go through every CV in details in order to select the fitting candidate. So, I need you to put yourself in a perspective of the people who are doing the selections and the interviews. How many oh, come on, guys, come on. It's just not gonna happen. And so, we are on job rotation because the people at the top cannot create jobs fast enough to keep up with the population of the people who are graduating from higher education and training, and also grade 12. People graduate a lot in South Africa, but the jobs cannot accommodate all of them. Hence why we have an unemployment problem. So what is the solution here? Because it creates a whole lot of problems for us to not have permanent jobs that we can rely on for the rest of our lives. Back then, not many people went to school, so they made sure that everybody who did not go to school, they made sure that they selected the best people for the job, whether you were qualified or not, right? You could be a policeman without any qualifications, but because you were fast and strong, then you had to be a policeman. Now, because of selection where education comes in, it gets more difficult to select the people who are qualified for the job, because there's a whole lot of us. There's a whole lot of us out there. So I don't know, guys. I don't know. I don't know what kind of change needs to be done in order to fix this systematically, because this cannot be fixed individually. We cannot just look at one company and say, you are practicing this is wrong, and then you try to fix. No, there has to be laws. There has to be laws. Look, if more than 50 people apply for a position, then you know that you have a problem. There should never be more than 50 people who are applying for a position in a given time, because it denies the people who are doing the selection process to do their job properly. But if there are CVs that are less than 50, or at least 50, but not more than 60 or 100, at least manageable, they'll be able to select a person in a week. And I think that's more efficient for the job environment. Right? If you have more than 100 people applying for the same position, you have a problem. And as I said, South Africa is surrounded. South African towns are small, and they're surrounded by villages that are too big to accommodate the people who have graduated to apply for the jobs that the town is advertising at a particular time. So I've been saying the same thing again and again, but let's go into the consequences of people who do not have jobs in an environment. Of course, the number one thing is crime is gonna go up, because how are you supposed to buy anything for yourself? The people that steal, we may condemn them, but let's look at the system that is put in place for them to just jump straight to crime. Is the logical solution for them. I'm not making an excuse, I'm just making an observation. If we look at the people who steal, all they want is money. And how do we get money? Through jobs. And jobs are not available. So therefore, they're going to jump to crime. Oh, obviously, like, it's understandable. I understand it. I understand the crime of South Africa and why it happens. It's so clear. It's not even confusing. But the government is unable to manage that because they don't even know how to solve this problem. Otherwise, it would have been solved a long time ago. And the more they're not solving it, the bigger it gets. If we look at the people who are graduating from schools, whether it's a university or high school or college, it increases every year. It goes up. And guess what? More babies are coming in. They go to grade 1 until grade 12. Same thing keeps happening. So, guys, I don't know. Oh, another thing is the fact that sitting at home, it disables us from becoming independent. And if you're dependent, you're not able to build a house for yourself. You're not able to take care of yourself. How are they expecting us to start families? I mean, don't get me wrong. People are starting families anyways without having a job because it's human nature, right? You're not just going to ignore your instincts and say, not all of us can do that. Ignoring your duty as a man or as a woman just because you don't have a job. That is an external issue, not an internal one. So obviously people are going to start families even though they're unable to take care of their kids, which inevitably leads to the cycle of going to school, taking those kids to school, and because you're poor, you're unable to get them to a higher education for them to stand out in the job market in order to be hireable. You don't have the money for that, so you rely on the government. It's a self-eating snake, you know. If we look at the learnerships and the NSFASs of it all that fund people to go to school, that money could have been used to create more jobs, but then it's used to get people to school, which those people graduate and they're unable to find the jobs that should have been created by the money that took them to school. Like, you get it? It's a self-eating tail that cannot fix itself unless it probably breaks, I think. So if I don't have a job, I won't be able to be independent. I will always be stuck at my parents' house. And so why so many young people still live with their parents, because they're unable to move out. Where are they gonna go? What food are they gonna find? Which clothes are they gonna wear? Right? You're talking about studying a house here, a household. That's not a playground. It needs at least 200,000 in today's day and age to start living in a comfortable house that has every material that you need: water, toilets, the house itself, the furniture inside the house. At least 200,000 will get you started. Now, where will we find that money if we don't even have jobs? And even if you do work, as I said, you work contracts. So because you work contracts, the contract inevitably ends before you do something meaningful. And don't forget that you have to support the people inside the house, because jobs are not available. If you have a job inside the house of 7 people, you are forced to support them morally. I mean, not legally, but morally. What, are you gonna let your family to starve just because you want to start a family yourself? You want to start living in your own house? You can't. You have to support them. Hence why we are stuck in the same house. We cannot get out. You understand? We cannot get out. Some people never start families because the logic says, if I cannot support my children, if I cannot support my wife, if my wife cannot support her children, then how are we supposed to start a family ourselves? Right? So many young men opt to get out of the family because they already have a family to take care of. That is not their own. It's their siblings, it's their mother, sometimes their father. So it's an issue. It's a very deep issue that needs to be solved. I don't know if this is talked about enough, but I've been procrastinating on this issue long enough that I think now I just have to say something. I don't know if other people have any other perspectives on how we can come up with solutions to solve this problem. I don't know, guys, but if you do have solutions, please comment them in the comments below, and maybe we can start a revolution. I don't know. It's probably how revolution started. They start so small with a conversation. So look, if you are a young man or a young woman stuck at home, unable to get out, unable to be independent, let's just say it's not entirely your fault, and you're not alone. There are hundreds of thousands of people in South Africa who feel that way. However, this is not an excuse for you to just stop and give up and be comfortable in your own misery. You should keep fighting. You should keep fighting, keep hustling. As South Africans, we know that hustling is part of us, because what are you gonna do? You're just gonna, cross your hands and stay at home and be comfortable in your own misery, unable to do anything for yourself? No, you just gotta go out there and find something to do, at least to buy you, well, the least that you can get, at least food. Just try, okay? Don't give up on yourself. I don't have a job, but I am trying. I'm trying. What else am I gonna do? The footages that you see in the video, their links will be found in the description. All the credits to them for their research, and thanks to them. Yeah, let's talk in the comments down below. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time.
So they're saying experience, even though you're wanting to actually start at the bottom and work your way up. And what you're experiencing is that people won't even let you start at the bottom in order to get more experience. Is that what's going on?
They're giving us less experience, like 2 years, and they reject us. Sometimes you find that we apply a post, like when we apply more than 1,000 candidates, and when they shortlist, they find that there is someone with 10 years experience, and find that I have 2 years experience. So obviously they take that one with 10 years experience.